Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I want to cover a couple different topics in this video, and we're going to start with YouTube deleting videos related to gun reloading, casting content. You know all about it. I don't have that many videos, and they deleted the first one. It's been a long time now, I can't remember. But ever since that happened, I haven't had much motivation to release videos and, talking with people like Full Lead Taco who have had dozens of videos deleted. It's just hard to stay motivated. Hence the reason for the nickel cases and the purple bullets here. My first video that got deleted was my Part 1 357 Magnum video with the NOE 173 grain. And I happened to be loading that in nickel cases with purple powder-coated cast bullets. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to show you a lineup. I've pretty much decided to load any nickel case that I have. I'm going to put a purple powder-coated bullet in it. And I don't have that many nickel cases. I recently finally got some for the 500 Magnum, and I decided I could probably do about a half dozen different cartridges with this. So the cartridges that I'll be working with are 380. I'm using the Lee 95 grain mold, 38 special with the 120 grain Lee mold. Using 10 millimeter, I have the NOE 190 grain bullet. The original cause for this video, 357 Magnum with the 173 grain NOE flat point. I've got the 50 AE brass here, and also the 500 Smith & Wesson. Those will both be loaded with the NOE 325 grain bullet. So on these 38 specials, I'm using CCI 500 primers. Those are just standard small pistol primers. Like I said, the Lee 356 120 TC bullet. I'm using 4.4 grains of Winchester 231. The last time I tested them, looking at my data, these are somewhere in the 900 feet per second range. Very, very slight crimp, just enough to take the edge off from the expander necessary to seat the cast bullet without damaging the powder coat. I'm going to take a minute to talk about the next reason for this video. Not just to shoot, well it is, but instead of just shooting all these nickel-plated casings and purple bullets with, just for fun, which there's nothing wrong with that, I'm also going to use it to make some comparisons. So, as you can tell, my Caldwell chronograph took a slight hit. It's been a couple months now. I've just been using it as if nothing's wrong with it, because as you can tell, the sensor seems to be fine. I got very lucky. That is a 300 grain Barnes TTSX bullet, shot from my 458 SOCOM, going about 1600 feet per second. I was sighting in a new scope, and as you can see, I thought that the bullets were going high. They were not on paper. So I went down a little bit, and yeah, I found out real quick I needed to go in the opposite direction. So I've been using it. The velocity readings still seem to be on par with previous readings before it got hit, so I'm sure there's nothing wrong with the actual functionality of it, but I've been wanting something else for a long time, and it was a pretty good reason to go ahead and pick one of these up. I feel like an idiot right now for just dropping it on the table, but at least it's still in the wrapping with bubble wrap and everything. So I've considered a LabRadar for a while, but I've been a little bit hesitant. The area that I shoot, as you know, is very wooded, and I've read some reports that these don't do very well unless you're in an open area, and even the guide right here shows no obstacles recommended within 5 meters left or right of the signal between you and your target. So I don't know what to expect, but I've wanted one for quite a while, and yeah. Gonna try it out, and I will during this shooting session with all these different cartridges, I'm going to shoot them over top of the Caldwell at the same time as I have the lab radar running. Since the first video that got deleted was the nickel brass 357s, I'm going to replicate those. And the second video of mine that got deleted happened about 2 weeks ago. In fact, Full Ed Taco was talking to me that morning about how he just had another video, or more than one probably, deleted that day. And I got an email that afternoon, I think it was, or a couple hours later, that one of my other videos had been deleted, and it was the first video that I put out with gun content. It was casting, powder coating, and sizing with the 10mm bullet, the MP molds 200 grain. So that's what made me decide to load up every piece of, not every piece, but every cartridge that I have nickel-plated brass. I plan to load it up with these purple bullets, and in doing so, we're going to kill two birds with one stone. .2641 on the lab radar, 2653 on the Caldwell. .2642 on the lab radar, 2655 on the Caldwell. 2557. Got 2572 on the Caldwell. Got 2621 on the Caldwell. Got 2559 on that. And 27 grains of CFE 223. Red 2723 on the Caldwell. Red 2652 on the Caldwell. Red 2649 on the Caldwell. Red 2631. And 2683. What I'm shooting now is the NOE 245 grain SP bullet. These are the ones that Full Ed Taco sent me. Appreciate it again, brother. Had 978 on the Caldwell. Had 991 on the Caldwell. Had 978 on the Caldwell. Had 1008 on the Caldwell. Had 1009 on the Caldwell. 1005 on the Caldwell. This might be a little finicky. Trying to get it on 2 different chronographs and using a little wrist like this. Got 1141 from the Caldwell. 1156 on the Caldwell. 1121 on the Caldwell. And 1165. Had 844 on the Caldwell. 834 on the Caldwell. 871. And 887. At 1353. It did not read that one. Okay. So again, 1353 on the Caldwell. Alright, 1359 on the Caldwell. Error on the Caldwell. And error on the Caldwell again. So, again, trying to line up these shots to work with both chronographs at the same time. Obviously, I'm going to run into some issues like that where the Caldwell isn't perfectly in line with my shots. NOE 325 grain bullet loaded up in the nickel 50 AE. I haven't shot this gun in months. In fact, the only video I showed on it, I did not have the Vortex Venom on there yet. So these are loaded with 28.5 grains at 296. Let's see. 1256. And I'm an idiot. At least the Caldwell read it. 1272 on the Caldwell. 1273 on the Caldwell. 1273 on the Caldwell, unless that was the last reading. 1266 on the Caldwell. Alright, so now we're doing the NOE 325 bullet that I just shot in the Desert Eagle, except we're going to shoot it out of the 500 Magnum. And I'm also doing a test here, because these are my first cast bullets out of the 500. And these don't have a crimp groove. So what I did, I used the taper crimp to remove the flare so they would actually drop into the cylinder. And then I hit them just a little bit with a slight roll crimp, trying not to do too much where it destroys the powder coating, but still want it to hold. So 1.977, 1.973. So I'm going to shoot that one second. Before I do, I'm going to measure it after shooting the first one. Velocity range has to go back up to rifle, I think. At 1316. 19735. Alright. So that one did not move. That was a pretty low power load for the 500 as far as it's concerned. Try this next one here. So the manual says that in rifle mode it detects down into the 900s. I have seen people say that that's not always accurate. So we're going to change it back to handgun since we're only in the 1400 feet per second range, and I believe handgun mode goes up to 1700-ish. 1480 on the Caldwell. said 1270. Spreads. Yeah, unburnt powder. So, a little worried about using accurate 1680, and I sort of extrapolated the data from, you know, the Lyman manual and things I've read online, and I thought that might not have been the best thing to do, because this is really low, and 1680 is one of those that people warn you about loading it too low, such as H110 296. Had 1243 on the Caldwell. We're going backwards. Huh. Okay. That's all she wrote on that one, because I am not shooting those last two after it did that. The Caldwell read 1030, it's read 998. I don't like seeing that, and you can tell by the condition of these cases. That charge is way too low. I was trying to fill up more of the case rather than using something like 30 grains of number 9. Maybe I'll have to do that though, because 1680, I have so much of it, I may continue trying this, but we'll see. First time out with the lab radar, no big problems, no incidents. Took a minute to get the hang of it, but not bad. Pretty happy with it, especially that it worked in here with all the woods and stuff, unless that is unknowingly changing my data. You know, I'll have to use it some more and just find out and see what I get. Let's go look at some data.